Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Le Mans Elixir Absolu. This one pretty much just became available here within the past, I don't know, week or so on the official website. I think you're looking at $175 for the 125 ml and then, I don't know, $225 or something for the 200 ml. It definitely makes a lot more sense to price per mil wise to get the bigger bottle if you're ever going to use that much anyway. I'm a big fan of most of the Le Mans fragrances. I think a lot of the flankers have been really good. Ultra Male, Le Parfum, Elixir, right? And now they're going even deeper with an Elixir Absolu. So we'll see if this one's any good or not as well. Okay, here we go. Here is the bottle. You know, it looks very similar to the original Elixir, except I believe that, yeah, this one doesn't have the clear slots. I believe on the Elixir, the parts right through here were kind of see-through glass. Not the case here. It's just basically all gold from top to bottom. You got your little pull ring up here, gold coloration. I mean, there's nothing else other than just gold. Definitely really premium looking. Let's go ahead and we'll spray this one on for the first time. Nice atomizer on these. Very reminiscent of a few different things. One, the original Elixir. That tonka bean, sweet, vanilla concoction that you get from the original Elixir that is prevalent when you first spray it on well into the dry down. Yeah, you're getting that here for sure. With that, even kind of reminds me a little bit of Le Parfum with the type of dusty tonka that they're using. That one itself, it kind of has a slight more maturity to it compared to the original and Ultra Male, and this one follows in those footsteps as well. One key difference that I'm noting here that's starting to make itself known is it has, I don't know, what is that? Almost like a, not necessarily cloves, but like a woody, almost slightly earthy texture to it, like a spicy, dry, maybe cedar wood a little bit. Something that's giving it like a smoky, earthy, woody undertone that was not there in the original, or really not there in any of the other Le Mans fragrances or flankers. You know, this is something that is already smelling different. It's almost kind of like a Bentley for Men Absolute kind of dry, smoky cedar type of deal is I guess how I would describe that one, just to give you a ballpark idea of what I'm trying to describe. And the more I smell it, the more I can still pick up on it. It's almost like it's growing a bit more intense, that type of woody dryness going on, which I love because balance. I think, you know, for the most part, balance is good to have in a fragrance. You know, something that's a little bit sweet, but maybe a little bit either woody or fresh or something, because a lot of these flankers these days are pretty much just all sweet. You know, it's kind of the trend right now. And while most of them have great performance, they're great compliment getters, and they work really well, it's nice to have a little bit of variety, and I think this one is bringing that to the table. You know, and with the original Elixir, you know, you've got that honey and tobacco going on with the vanilla and the tonka and all that stuff, so that kind of brings a little bit of a twist into it, still heavily sweet leaning, and while this one is still sweet too, I have to say, I really, really like what I'm smelling right now. So the note breakdown to me, well, we're gonna have to cross-check this. I pulled up Fragrantica first. We've got lavender, plum, and tonka bean. You know, that doesn't really tell me a whole lot because kind of to be expected. The plum, almost like it's making a return from Ultra Male, even though that's pear, kind of like a fruitiness is almost what they're trying to get back on track with. And as of right now, am I getting a plum note? I don't know, maybe a little, but not all that strong yet. Okay, so when we look at the official website, I mean, they say the same thing, it looks like. Top notes, heart notes, and base notes. Lavender, plum, and tonka bean. That just, I don't know, there's a lot missing there. And so I guess we're kind of left to use our imagination here as far as what else we're picking up on, and I'm just sticking to what I said earlier, just a dry, earthy, kind of smoky incense woodiness going on, which I can really get behind a lot. It's giving this one a lot of kind of new texture that just wasn't there in the previous releases. You know, honestly, as far as a couple of the other newer releases we've had, either this year or like end of last year, you know, like even Aqua de Jo Elixir. You know, I haven't been wildly impressed by them, really. I would say this is one of the first newer ones here that really is looking promising to me. Like, I can really see this one being a heavy hitter in my collection for fall and winter use. And again, you know, there's so many to choose from, so many that I already have and that most of you guys have too as far as this line. And so it just comes down to picking your favorite, picking what works best. And I can see this one maybe edging out a few of the others. You know, I've well gotten my use out of Le Male Le Parfum and Ultra Male, right? Those have been around for a while. I've worn them a lot. I really enjoy them. You know, if I'm kind of want something a bit more new and exciting and refreshed and just, you know, different, you know, something that I haven't worn a whole bunch of times, this is one that I could really see coming into the picture. And actually now is where I'm kind of getting a little bit of that fruity sweet plum. And I almost don't know if I would have caught it as a plum note at first. Maybe now that it's just in my mind, now that I'm saying, oh, there it is. But it's beyond everything else. It's beyond the sweet tonka and the woods and smokes and everything like that. And then I'm getting a little bit of that sweet fruitiness. And I can see where they're talking about kind of a plum note. And so like I brought up Ultra Male, you know, having a sweet pear note. I'm not really drawing any other connections between the two. So if you're someone who never liked Ultra Male, don't worry, this one, it doesn't smell anything like it, you know, but they are utilizing a sweeter fruity note here to just add a little bit of variety as well, which I like. So this is it's Le Male Elixir Absolu Parfum Intense. So I'm guessing I guess it's a parfum concentration. It would only make sense. And so we're going to see about performance. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a good performer, just historically speaking, across basically all of the others. You know, they all perform pretty well. So I would expect about the same out of this, or maybe even a bit better. You know, it definitely, it goes on heavy. You know, it's oily stuff. It's highly concentrated. And so I can see this one doing well. And another thing is, sometimes when you spray something on for the first time, sometimes they can start dissipating quickly. And this is not a surefire thing. This is not something that is guaranteed. But I mean, sometimes you can almost get a feel for how something is really going to perform in the long haul based on the first, you know, 15, 20, 30 minutes of wear. You know, if it's already starting to die off within that time frame, it's probably not going to be looking too good. But if it stays strong, like right now, this is still as strong as when I first sprayed it on, you know, about 8 minutes ago. And so I think that's a pretty good telltale sign that it's probably going to stick around for a while. Definitely going to have at least respectable performance, if not really, really good performance, which is just kind of, especially when you're paying this much money, something that you hope for, and something that we kind of have come to expect out of most fragrances these days, which makes sense, again, given the substantial price increases that have happened over the past few years. If you're spending that much money, you would expect it to last at least through your work day. So I think this one's going to be a good performer. Quality is fantastic. There's nothing about this that smells cheap or synthetic or really unnatural. You know, that was a big complaint with Ultra Male, just how sweet it was, you know, with that pear, vanilla, cinnamon. And it was called like a synthetic mess. You know, I don't really see that here. I think, one, I mean, it's just different than that scent, but also for the money that they're charging for this, at least it feels like we're getting some good quality ingredients here, a really good, well thought out blend that, again, doesn't smell cheap or you know, slapped together or anything like that. It seems to me like they've put some thought into this one. So I think this will kind of be a release for people who want something at least a little bit more mature. Again, still predominantly sweet, don't get me wrong, but it does have that bit of an earthy, woody, smoky, kind of spicy undertone that separates it just enough to where that might be all you really need if that is what you're after. I'm excited about this one, and I like it way better than I thought I was initially going to. You know, I really wasn't sure what to expect. As far as new releases go, I think this is, at least as of right now, and this could change as I wear this and some others more, but I like what they did here better than what they did with Aqua de Jo Elixir. And that one just kind of, I don't know, is more floral, almost seemed kind of backwards, and also very expensive, 50 ml for, I mean, retail 150 or plus. Discounters like 110 for 50 ml, still pricey. So that one, maybe it'll grow on me, but it wasn't what I was expecting. This one wasn't what I was expecting either, but in a good way. Like it's better than I thought it would be. Alrighty, I think that's going to do it for me. My first impressions on the new Le Mans Elixir Absolu. You know, it's hard not to see all these flankers that are just now they're stacking on top of each other. Elixir Absolu. And you can look at them as a cash grab and kind of repetitive, but I will say with this one, it actually brings something to the table more so than some others, and I think it could definitely do well in the long run, and it might even be something I end up liking better than the original Elixir for all things considered here. So definitely, I'm impressed. I like this one, especially with how cold it's been here lately. This is the perfect thing to wear for, you know, single-digit temperatures. Alrighty, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Let me know if you've tried this one yet. What you think of it down below? If you have, if you haven't, are you gonna skip this one, wait for the next, or what? I want to hear from you. And if you've tried any of the other new releases that have been coming out, and a ton more to come too, like I saw a new Wanted and a whole bunch of other stuff, let me know down below if you've gotten your hands on those yet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.